Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's bright and early, daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. What do you do when you don't have anyone in your life that provides emotional support? What do you do when you don't have anyone that gets you, understands you? And people say they're there for you. Oh, I got your back. You have your friends and your buddies and maybe your wife and family and your mother and your siblings or whoever. They all profess that they got your back. Anything you need. But are they really? People say that shit, but has anyone ever actually helped you out? Maybe you have. Not everybody can relate to this. How do you deal with expectations? That's what we're ultimately going to get at here with this, is expectations. You may have an expectation of a certain type of reciprocity. And this is a hard one. You know, I do for you what you do for me. I treat you how you treat me. Isn't that an aspect of the golden rule? And we're all raised that way, but that doesn't work out all the time, because you may be following that golden rule and nobody else is. Everybody else is following a selfish rule. Everybody's just trying to get theirs, right? Trying to make a come up. When you need help, oh, you get the reality of life, that you're all alone and you need to struggle to survive by yourself. Meanwhile, you may be overextending, lending money, helping people out all over town, friends, family. It never comes back. Well, there's a good rule about giving, and you give without expectation. If I'm helping you out in order to build up some sort of reciprocal bank account, some kind of credit line with you where I know that you owe me. I helped you, you owe me. So I got a whole bunch of people on my list that I know that owe me. And I'm using that as like a line of credit. Almost as a status symbol. That's my wealth. I got so many people that owe me. And maybe they do owe you. But that doesn't mean they're going to pay. It's hard to get people to pay up. People don't generally want to pay up. Most people would rather not pay their bills. Most people would rather not pay their debts. And that definitely can be a hard lesson. We may have expectations on a certain type of happiness. I've followed a certain path that I was told to, that society told me to. And I've expected a certain amount of success from that and a certain amount of happiness from that, a certain amount of fulfillment from that. I expect it. I did what I was supposed to do, now pay up. Give me what I'm owed. But it's hard to have those kinds of expectations. That's why it's important not to live for happiness. You're not living to be happy. Happiness is so overrated. You live for purpose and meaning. You wake up every day with a mission driven by purpose, and that's not always fun. Sometimes that's really stressful, scary. But when you're mission driven, you know what you got to do. And when other people don't get it, it doesn't really matter, because you know what you have to do. When you're mission driven, you know. It doesn't matter if you don't understand the mission. So then when people don't understand you in general, and you may have this syndrome where nobody gets me, nobody gets me. Some teenagers have this. I had that. I didn't think my mom got me, society didn't get me, the teachers didn't get me, my own friends didn't get me. Nobody really understood me. And that became a form of suffering, because I became very lonely off of that. But as I've gotten older, learned to walk this path like a warrior, which very often is a path where you walk alone. A lot of survival is handled alone, and I realized that it doesn't matter if other people don't get me. It doesn't matter if other people aren't here to support me. I've learned to become self-sufficient. My cup runneth over because I'm filling it all day. So I have enough for you. I have enough love, enough compassion. I have enough positivity for you. I'm overflowing with it. Well, there's so many people out there that are desperate. There's haves and have-nots. Some people have and some people have not. The have-nots are playing a different game of survival than the haves. We know this. You look at the rich and the poor, but it also comes with fulfillment. A confident, self-fulfilled man who has no expectations and no attachments can walk out on that path every day like a warrior, like a samurai, like a monk, kind of go between those two roles, between monk and warrior, and be perfectly fine, be perfectly content. This is one of the reasons why I promote religion and spirituality, specifically belief in a higher power and in God. I don't care which God you believe in, Jew, Muslim, Christian, whatever, but one of the good things about that is when your father and mother forsake you, the Lord can take you up. When your friends forget about you, the Lord takes you up. When you feel completely alone in this world, you always have a big homie watching your back, always, no matter what. If you're in a jail cell, sleeping in the bushes, or just in your bed, desperately lonely one night, not feeling like anyone cares or understands or anything. This is the value of building a relationship, a daily relationship with a higher power. And that relationship teaches you a lot about yourself, and you realize that all I need in this world is my own discipline, my own courage, and my faith in God. Those three things, kind of a triumvirate, Holy Trinity. Those three things will get you through, will get any man through. When you learn to be self-sufficient, and you learn to get rid of your expectations of the world and others, you gain a certain power that some people can't understand, and you will seem a little weird to people. Some people will be intoxicated by you, and maybe they'll understand that you're navigating in a way that they only wish they could. But most people are sheep, lemmings, followers, and they're stupid idiots blinded by the internet and the media and their lack of lifestyle management, lack of discipline, lack of courage, lack of faith. So you're practicing these things daily that most people aren't even fucking with at all. And it may make you seem a little bit weird. The lone samurai that wanders through town may seem a little weird to some people. Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings was definitely a weirdo and kind of a loner. Gandalf didn't travel around with all his little wizard homies. He went and visited the Shire and visited, these different areas. But one of these wise men, they don't really fit in with others because they're not playing the same game of survival as others. So you kind of have to learn to accept it. One of the things that releases us from suffering in this world is acceptance. We spend so much time grasping. The opposite of attachment in some ways is acceptance. And it's not where you just stop caring about things. Some people think acceptance means you just don't care about stuff. No, it goes back to the go with the flow mentality, where you let life happen and you don't become attached to anything and you don't have expectations on anything. It just happens. It is the way it is. You've heard that statement. It is what it is. And very often, life becomes suffering when we become attached to a certain version of it. We may have different filters that we put over our lens, and we see the world in a distorted view, but that's not reality, and we may become addicted to those filters. You like the filter better than you like reality, but that's just your own self-delusion. So we don't want to become attached to the filter, to your perception. You want to be open-minded to be able to change your perception, to see what's really there instead of what you want to be there. So, what do you do when no one understands you? You just move forward. You program every day, mind, body, and soul. You eat right, study, work out, pray, meditate. And you'll know it. I get it. Other people may not, but I get it. And as long as you get it, that's all that matters. Food for thought.